Hello everybody. We went through a lot like the past couple of days, and I was thinking to record this because I went through very interesting stuff, and from the astrology point of view, what is going on now, we are going through this disillusionment phase. When I was listening this astrologer last week, she was saying, I wish I could share it, but it's in my, I joined the Rama TV and it's there, so I cannot really share it. So I will share a little bit of the information. What she was saying, the astrologer, was that to paying attention where is your Neptune and Mercury, in which house it is. So that is where you should be focusing on. Wait, I just got my notes because I am not an astrologer. Let's say if it's in your like a sixth house, you be focusing on work, health, and service. My Neptune is in the sixth house in my natal chart. So you can check that in your natal chart. Where is your Neptune and Mercury? So that area you should be focusing on right now, which is really handy because like I am really getting a little bit more interested in astrology because the way I am getting messages is really intuitively. I'm like reading it like I'm picking it up from the collective, or I get visions. But it's really interesting to seeing it that it's actually identical with what I'm picking it up, and it's already in the astrology. And I was thinking how much it could enhance me to bringing all these messages if I know a little bit of the astrology. So I'm kind of a little bit interested in that right now. So yeah, check where is your Neptune and Mercury in your natal chart, and that would give you a little bit of the direction on what you should be focusing on these days. You know, like it's kind of good to checking out certain astrologers just so use your own guidance and have a look what the others are saying, because this year is gonna be very powerful. We've got a load of like eclipses going on, and that will definitely affect you, like, you know. So it's good to, I'm just kind of a little bit more looking on that to be prepared, because it's one way I can get a messages like in kind of like the day, but I'm not focusing on the future. But it's kind of good to know, because you know there are certain astrological events. It's always good to know, let's say if you're trying to launch a project, in which time is the best for you to do that. Because let's say now you would like to do something, but you're supposed to be focusing more on your health first, so that you can later the planetary and the energetic the energies are gonna be more in your favor. So astrology is actually very beneficial. Like I have to say that I'm getting a little bit more interested into it. So that's one thing. And pay attention to, I got very angry yesterday, and I was writing on one of my friend to I was telling her, pay attention to your anger, just be careful, like, because it's gonna creep out. And I was just yesterday, I meditated, and straight afterwards I fell asleep, and I had a dream about where I was constantly angry, and it was like it really like, wow, it really kind of wowed me. So I was sitting with it, and during the day I got angry multiple times, even though I was meditating and just was trying to kind of balance, but I was still, the anger still crept in. And so that was yesterday, kind of like angry intense. So there is gonna be a load of anger, because like consider there was this shooting in America somewhere. So there is a load of anger in the world in general. People are angry, and you know, with whatever is happening in whatever country. And then another thing, to pay attention to your thoughts, because that manifests obviously all the time. So pay attention to what you're thinking. And I had a hard time like past 2 days. My mind was killing me again, but I'm already aware of it, so I'm kind of like just observe it if my mind is giving me a hard time. Then another thing what to watch for is a guilt and shame. Anything where there's guilt and shame. we are going towards like a stop the victimhood kind of mentality. So we have to take a full responsibility of how we create our own reality. I shifted already a couple of days ago. I think it was 21st on the equinox. I was sitting in the studio and I was thinking how the heck or why I have such a massive problem to monetize my artwork, and why I have such a problem to bring the project to certain like a ending, and to finishing it off, because I have a tons of unfinished work, and I have never been like that years ago. But now, like after the awakening, it's a long story though. I used to freelance a lot, and I used to do anatomic illustration, and I used to do custom tattoo design, and I used to do graphic design. So I was doing all sorts of things, and there was a certain event in my life which impacted me so much that I practically, since the time, I have never been successful since that time. And I thought that when I forgave that person, then I'm done, like, then it's okay, because I already forgave that person. What happened, it was, we were running a business together, and the other person betrayed me and took my artwork behind my back and gave it to some other artist to tweak it, and they resold it for triple the price, and I find out. So that was that was a big one for me. I took it personally, obviously, but the question is, why the heck I attracted this into my life, So, and when I was contemplating about why I have such a problem to monetize my artwork, like, so yeah, we are already in the time when it's possible for an artist to actually make a living out of the craft. So the story was kind of really challenging me on my beliefs, and so I had to sit with it. It has a lot of layers. It's not as simple as just looking on the success and around artwork. It's way deeper. Yeah, this is a digital age, so it's so easy for the artists right now to actually monetize their artwork and actually make a living out of it, and doing it without having a gallery, or just doing it their own way, the way they want it. We have to understand the power of the age we are in, the digital age in general. So how much actually opportunities are giving it to all of us to use our creativity and to really monetize our gifts, what we have. So what I find out, actually, whatever happened, it was very painful story for me, because we made that business together, just me and him. And he won a Dragon's Den, and the business is massive right now. It has more than 300 artists on the board drawing the custom tattoo design, but it was just me and him on the start. So it was my baby as well. Like, it was my creation as well. And the betrayal was just so big for me that it created massive agony for me for many, many years. And it was as well a time when the event happened. That was as well a time when I stopped drawing completely and I started doing something else. I'm still sitting a little bit with this aspect, because the funny part about this is that I completely forgot, because I'm already drawing again for past 3.5 years. So I forgot on the fact that back then there was this feeling that I just could not even hold the pencil. I just could not even look on it. I felt I really took that betrayal so personally, because if you think about it from the, like, if you dissect it into the energy, that business carries my frequency as well. It will always carry my frequency. I was there on the start, and it was fully based on my artwork. There was no other artist before, just me. So that frequency was taken, butchered, and resold behind my back. I was lied to, I was not paid, there was so many like crazy stuff going on. So I'm still sitting with this because it's a big event. And I thought that, I remember when I forgave the guy, and I felt so light. I mean, the forgiveness, it's a really, truly a master thing. Like, forgiving somebody is amazing thing to do, really, because you do something for yourself. And then I was able to forgive so many people, and including myself. But I really did not see it from... I needed to see it this time because I'm conscious, because I'm awake. Back then I was unconscious, and there was a massive sadness constantly running me. I have been always sad person because of I have so many life experiences which are very challenging, and as well the dynamic of my family was always very complicated. The guy showed up on Monday, and we talked it through a little bit, and I become really emotional. I thought I'm over it because like I really forgave him. I don't have any attachments to the company. I'm okay, but whatever they are doing, even though I had to watch them all those years to grow, all based on my artwork, and just like seeing my artwork being there and me not being part of it and being broke, and just very challenging like experience. I think there is as well the thing that after that I started doing completely different stuff. I started upcycling the broken inner tubes, and I started making the bags because that was obviously less vulnerable. Like, I was less prone to be hurt. And I noticed that the moment the business was going very well, like it's a beautiful business, like. And I was doing very unique stuff, and nobody was doing what I was doing, so there was very little competition. So I will post here a little bit of a photo of what I was doing actually. And I had a really good client as well in America, so the bags were very expensive. It was those kind of designer bags. And I was less prone to be hurt, obviously, because I didn't have to expose the art is very personal because it's a piece of you which you give away to the world. I don't know, it's very different than making any other product. Music is as well, I would say, very similar. The music is something very cool because music is invisible. I really like that because like when the musician makes the music, it's the massive part of him is in it. It's actually what is making the music so good and so amazing. And you either hear just the tunes, but I usually feel the person behind it. And visual art is very similar in that because the music you cannot see, but it is vibration, it's a frequency, so it vibrates inside of you. On the other hand, with the visual art, it is a mark on the paper. It's even more, it's like you stamp it. You just like stamp your signature in it. And of course, it was very painful to watching the business being marketed on my artwork, and so obviously, like, you just were seeing constantly your frequency, your energetic signature. So yeah, that was it's really interesting. I still have to sit with it because I thought it's over me, and it has no hold on me, or it does not impacted me, but it impacted me massively. I didn't even thought about it, because now when I understand more how the energy works, and like everything is energy, and how we create our reality, then obviously I start seeing this situation completely differently, and I start seeing how massively it impacted me, how every single step I did afterwards was a step of a grief and pain, and how I could not scale up the business which I was doing afterwards, because I was not willing to hire more people, it was as well not possible to remove myself from the business, like, to just being just to managing it, because I was the one who invented the bags, and I had to be in the process of making it, because the invention was happening in the real time. I was not making like a pattern, and then I could make a pattern and repeat it afterwards, but I still had to be in it because of the material was so difficult. So I have to always reinvent the model, so every single model was different. It was not repeatable practically. So it was like a one type of creation as well. Yeah, I had a load of fun with it. It was my kind of a healing journey, I think. I had to open this to arrive into the point when I just didn't want to scale it up. And I realized that I missed the drawing so badly. Then I closed it. As well, there was as well the awakening, and afterwards. So, but when I was asking my guides, like, to giving me a little bit of that I could understand what happened back then, because I thought I'm over it and that's it, but it's just starts showing up on Monday. So they showed me the vision of eagle sitting on the tree with a prey in his beak, and the prey was a dove. And I was looking on the meaning of all the symbology, and apart from like whatever dove means, we all know like that's a very holy bird. It as well means the creative expression. And the eagle with his prey in his beak sitting on the tree, the meaning of it's a stolen success. So practically what happened back then with all the story was that he stole the success from me, and I could not be successful afterwards. But why? Why did I attracted this thing into my experience? Because he did not value me. He did not value me so much that he got rid of me the way he did get rid of me, was because I did not value myself enough. And I did not value myself enough because my parents did not value me as an artist. They did not value art. So there is the missing link. So practically all of that story is a story of a self-value. You'll be probably exposed to certain, maybe even you were running a business with other people, and I noticed that I have a problem actually to cooperate now with other people and like working together on a certain projects because of this experience. It's not that I don't trust the other person, but there is the background, like because of this experience, I am like I sabotage it usually. So yeah. So because my parents did not value art, and the society did not value art in that time, because we were in the communism, the deep communists, like artists had it really hard time in the time, you either were working for the party, which was just crazy to do all the politicians in that time, that's what you would probably do, painting all those, just horrible, the regime. Anyway, so artists always had it in the hard time, and we have tons of movies about that. So of course my parents did not value this aspect, but what actually happened when you have a look on it like even deeper, because I was always an artist, and I was always drawing, and I was always it was part of me. So I formed a perspective in that time that because they did not value art, therefore I am not valuable, you know. And all the story around success, around my artwork, is just going with it, around it. It's become my background noise because that's a perspective. Once you form a perspective, all you have to do, you have to kind of like, if you have a problem to monetize your gifts, then you have to really dig deep into the childhood. There is definitely a couple of events that happened to you, that let's say you were running a business with another two people and then you were like abandoned, you know. But what it means, if you are abandoned and they left you in that business alone, it is because you abandoned yourself. You know, there is always a hidden meaning behind all these situations or events in our lives that are trying to tell us where are still our misconceptions, or where we form a certain perspective which is constantly running our lives. But you know, pay attention to like certain events around self-value. That's what I'm trying to say. Self-value, and pay attention to shame and guilt, like everything around this thing. So yeah, we have to be like practically taking a full responsibility of how you create your own reality. And no more blame. No more blaming anyone for like, you know, I could blame the guy that he stole the success from me, but that vibration was there in me in the first place. So I'm looking on it, what was going on in here first, because I attracted that experience into my life. So why did I do that? This is how you take full responsibility of how did you create your own reality. And you don't blame the other person, because I don't blame him. It's okay, you know, I'm perfectly. It was the most funniest thing was when he showed up on Monday. The most funniest thing was that even though I got emotional, it did not create any agony in me at all. I'm so detached from it that it really amazed me, you know. But I needed to have a look on it, because there was more layers to the event than just betrayal, you know, because I probably betrayed myself ages ago. And of course, there is as well some like, we all have some skeletons in the wardrobe around money, you know, so there is gonna be something I would have to have a look on. Yeah, it's a big event. So you pay attention to certain like a really big events which you have in your life that mess you up. So have a look on why that happened, because I think there is a key for you to understand. Because, you know, when there is a guilt and there is a shame, and when there is all this like a betrayal or whatever there is happening for you, you have to have a look on it. It's definitely very important. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, guys, I leave you with this. We are definitely in an interesting year, and check out your houses. Where is your Mercury and Neptune? Because that's it. Those two planets are gonna be showing up all year long, and that's your guide for the rest of the year. So you know where to focus on, what you're gonna be probably purging, what is gonna be showing up for you. For me, it was exactly this, because I am already in the phase which I supposed to be doing my work, and that's my artwork is a part of it. So I need to scale up, because I need to scale up. I need to see this. So I need to improve my self-value. Yeah, self-value is a big one, guys. It's a big one. It's got so many layers. You know, because it's not just a self-worth. It's a value. It's like you have the value, that you have something to offer to the world. You know, it's not just a self-worth. So I would say self-worth and self-value are two different things. Of course, they are in the same group, you know? It's like confidence. That's in the same group. Confidence, self-esteem, self-worth, self-value. That's a package. So we still gonna be looking on this. This is for a long time we are looking on it actually. But it's just, there is so many things happened in your life. I mean, it depends how old you are. It depends how much baggages you have. It depends where you were born, into which society, which culture, which country, what type of parents. All of these is contributing to this package. So happy digging. We'll be digging. Be good and take extra care for yourself and put yourself first and be there for yourself first. That's very important. Don't dishonor yourself. Be good. Bye. I see you next time.